Hey Google, play ABC Classic 2.
Streaming ABC Classic 2 from TuneIn.
Okay, thank you.
I guess I'm fairly good at being pragmatic, I think. I can accept where we're at and recognise that the two of us, by any measure, have had a good life. Couldn't really ask for more. And so life really has been complete, almost. Drop me as close as you can to the door.
Wow.
Lots of coins.
Oh, look, front and centre.
Well, which ones are specifically honeysuckle? Well, the $2 coin. Well, it's a rendition of me and John, but we're rather small.
Well, we definitely got to get some, haven't we?
Thanks very much. There's a picture of me on there. Oh, the walk they had me do. Well, today we just got back from the Mint, where we bought the coin set, specially produced for the 50th anniversary of the moon landing. And it depicts a very accurate representation of the honeysuckle dish and a rendering of myself sitting at a console during that first step by Armstrong on the moon.
The worldwide television cover of the moonwalk came from Australian tracking stations. The first picture came from Honeysuckle Creek near Canberra, and then, after a few minutes, the giant radio telescope at Crux in northwestern New South Wales took over.
My role at Honeysuckle Creek was to be in charge of operations. I sat at a console with various displays, lights, etc., and supervised the station during operations. There were two of us that ran the operations, myself in what we call the left-hand seat and John Saxon in the right-hand seat. It was a double act, and we got to know each other very well. We went on to work together for many years in space tracking in one way and another. And even today, we're still quite close.
Okay, Neil, we can see you coming down the ladder now.
It's me and John who appear to have taken the lead, for want of a better word, in all of these anniversaries over the last, 25, 30 years. And as and when we run out of physical, mental energy and stamina for this, I'm not sure who's going to pick up the ball.
When you turn your toes up, you're gone, aren't you? And you're not going to be worried about what else is going on. But I hope that people will continue to celebrate it. One of the things I'm thinking of doing, which will annoy the hell out of you, is to do a blog.
Oh, that doesn't
Because I'd like some feedback from some of our friends.
How would you like Canberra to celebrate the 50th anniversary?
Well, to recognise it as what it turned out to be. Some people describe it as the major historical event of the 20th century. I guess we didn't all see it that way at that time, but I suppose looking back it can be reasonably objectively regarded as that. And in Canberra, well, there's a few of us left from that era, not many, but there's certainly a lot of children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren of those who were involved. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, Mike.
My job at the Honeysuckle Creek tracking station was to be in charge of the operations, making sure everything worked and everything happened, that the antenna was pointing at the moon. This is a set of Australian coins, and there's a new dollar coin here, we'll pass it around, that has a sort of picture of me. You've got to look, you've got to peer really carefully to see me. And at the top of the coin, there's a picture of the honeysuckle antenna.
Hello.
Hi John, Mike here. I'm just wondering if you're ready to leave to pick me up to take me to Questacon.
Should be with you in about 10 to 15.
I remember a few months ago first seeing it on the internet and thinking that's just the thing for Questacon. And I'm glad they picked up the idea.
So this is a 7-metre inflatable moon.
Right. Where's
And
this pick and take man?
We're about to go and show you, actually.
You could have reflectors on the wall and lay it that way, couldn't you? There goes the engineer in me. Collection area, as far as I can gather. Look at the moon rock.
Oh, that's better than a sliver. It's better than a sliver.
Yeah, a bit. Yeah, John, would you like to tell us what the plans are for the Apollo 11 50th?
We will have the moon rock and the plaque out on display in the main hall.
This, as I say, came from Apollo 17, which was the last mission to the moon. I happened to be in America at the time this all happened and helped arrange that the big new dish at Tibimbilla would track this mission. In organising this celebration, which, by the way, we have done more or less every 5 years, since the 20th, 25th, 30th, 35th, 40th, 45th, we've had celebrations, but this one we do plan to be the biggest and best and last. Good day.
Good morning, security.
Oh, good morning. This is Mike Din and John Saxon coming in to see Glenn Nagel.
No worries, thanks, Mike. Come through the main gate.
Okay, thank you.
Well, there's plenty actually happening right across the country. So there's a lot of discussions, a lot of different organisations putting on events. And certainly we'll be doing our own events here and displays and exhibitions, of course, and we have all of the Apollo memorabilia. And we've got a lot of things stored down in the building just behind us there, which is, you know, all from your days at Honeysuckle and here at Tibimbilla. So we're really looking forward to you all coming out on the 20th, the day before the full anniversary, and to be able to share a few memories with you about Honeysuckle and those days of Apollo.
Well, when Honeysuckle closed in the early 80s, by that time this dish was owned by the Deep Space Network, and so it was logical to dismantle it and rebuild it here, which is precisely what they did, like a big Meccano set.
It's a little bit different from our day,
There's no
right?
knobs and switches.
Good to see
Where
you.
are all your knobs and switches then?
All computerised now.
When I first arrived in 1966, we had 130 people and we were tracking one spacecraft.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Hamish.
Welcome to my home.
Oh, good to be here. Today we've got three important people. One of them is Hamish Lindsay, who was one of our senior technicians at Honeysuckle during the mission.
We used to have flying clocks come. I've worked at many places, but nobody else has ever gathered together like we have. We've kept our anniversaries going because we were working on something very special. We recognised it, or at least I certainly recognised it at the time, and I was very, very proud to be part of the team.
For many who worked on Apollo, not only was it a big thing, but it was peaceful and it was feel good.
Oh, it's a happy event.
It was a lot of hard work.
One of the few happy events of 1969 when all hell was breaking loose for most of the world at the time. And then all of a sudden the world was united in the joy of something different and peaceful.
We've been reminiscing about the old days, what we all did, how we did it, and in particular the plans and hopes for the celebration of this 50th anniversary.
At the 40th, I said that if I was to come to the 50th. It'll probably be on a Zimmer frame or some sort of walking mobility machine.
I've got a lovely green one, John.
Have you a green? Ooh.
I'll bring it in. There always was a big signboard about the turn off to the Honeysuckle Creek station. My initiative, I thought, well, for the 50th anniversary, why shouldn't we have a repeat or reinstallation of that? A new signboard to go in here as part of the Apollo 11 50th anniversary celebrations. It will remind everybody that the Honeysuckle Creek station supplied television of Armstrong's first step on the moon. Well, at this stage, we're not sure whether Trudy will or won't be able to make it to the 50th celebrations. She is in full-time care and almost wheelchair bound. It would be great if she could. Obviously, she's worked with me and lived with me and lived through all these events, including teaching on the day when the first step on the moon happened. And looked after 6 kids in some way or other right through all those Apollo missions, where I just drove back and forth to Honeysuckle. It's been quite an event, quite a period that we've had in Australia, and the 50th anniversary was really the high point of my career, so celebration of it 50 years on will be quite something.